and welcome back to the Smite EU Regional Championship. I'm now joined by DM again, as we already had you here yesterday. What a game that just was.
What a set. I mean, front to back, all 5 games were ridiculous. It was stomp after stomp after stomp after stomp. And then suddenly in game 5, there was not only contention, but 10 very nervous players running around the map with like chickens with their heads cut off. And luckily for Aquila, it wound up that they were just a little bit more coordinated in the end.
Yeah, and they ended up in the finals now. So let's bring up the brackets and actually take a look at what we already seen, as we already had some games being played yesterday. So the first one we had was Cloud9 going up against Aquila.
Right. And,
well, that went in Aquila's favor, obviously.
Honestly, I don't think it did. Most of the time, it went in Cloud9's favor.
That was the massive comeback one, wasn't it? Yeah, now I remember.
Game 1 was completely Cloud9. Game 2 was completely Cloud9 until the last 40 seconds. And then the game just ended. Yeah, it was crazy. And then Aquila took game 3, but for your statement, I think Cloud9 had the most of that one, despite their loss.
I mean, what I'm saying, it went in their favor is they came through in the end. So 2-1, it went in their favor, definitely. And then we had TSM going up against SK Gaming, and that one was a 2-0. So SK played really, really, really well there.
My prediction was that TSM was going to win the LAN.
Oh, and well, that was off now.
SK threw that one away real quick. Their communication was brilliant. Zyros was amazing, but I looked at Maniac the entire time. I mean, he was unstoppable.
He really was. Now, SK is going to go up against Mortality. What are your thoughts on that match now?
I'm thinking that SK is really hyped, as you can hear in the background. No, but they're definitely focused. But I watched a lot of Mortality scrims. I know what they can do. I know their ambiguity, which is a big point. They can put a lot of players in different roles. They can play a lot of gods in those roles as well, comparatively to SK, where they're going to kind of run the normal route, do their own thing, but they're tried and true. They've been boot camping super hard at the SK headquarters, and I think we're going to see a pretty sick set.
Now, if we want to talk a bit more in depth about Mortality, I mean, they were the 2nd seed in the Pro League,
right?
So right after Fnatic, which is now out. So those seeds apparently don't mean that much after all.
Well,
and they're going to go up against a really, really strong team here.
In Europe, the seeds have almost never meant anything. In fact, SK came in as the bottom seed to this tournament. They also came into the bottom seed at the TSM, or I'm sorry, at the Smite regional kickoff for the European SPL, and they won that too. SK is not to be trifled with. They are brilliant, especially in a LAN environment.
Yeah, we're going to see. I literally can't wait to see. Hopefully once more 5-mapper right there. Yeah. So let's take a look at that first team, which is going to be Mortality. And that was Mortality. And they will be playing against SK Gaming, who showed a pretty splendid performance yesterday with the 2-0. Do you think that might be an advantage for them to actually already have played here on the stage? Do you actually think Mortality could get stage fright or anything of the like?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. They did play yesterday, but they had to give up some of their secrets to do so. Though Mortality has had some issues on LAN before. Notably, Sayo has had kind of succumbed to the pressure a few times, but he is looking beyond focused this time.
All right, well, we're going to take a look at our second team now, which is SK Gaming. And that was SK Gaming. So 2 top teams, only one can get into the final, and therefore taking the last slot for the EU Regional Championship here and actually going to the Worlds. What do you think plays into their mind? Because everything is on the line in this very game.
There's no way to tell. None of these players or the casters or the referees have ever been put into a situation like this in Smite. Like Bart has talked about, this is essentially a $300,000 set. Loser's going to lose about 295K here. That's
quite a bit.
Yeah, that hurts.
It really does. I mean, we saw the relief on like Aquila's faces, and he said like it meant so much. Now they can do so much more, and they can go full time and everything. So that is a lot for their players.
I think losing here would be more effective to the player's mindset than winning. Losing a set like this, you're going to replay it over and over and over in your mind for maybe even the rest of your life. So
yeah, I heard you guys talking about that today. It's like, yeah, that's going to hunt you down. Just saying. But yeah, we're gonna see how they will play out. Let's hope for really great games. Thanks a lot for joining me here on the desk, and we're going to hand it over to our casters now with the first game of the second set of the semifinals.
Much Zoe, and welcome back to the commentary desk. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me for set number 2 is the one and only hi-rez Hindu Man. And welcome to Cologne, Germany, where we've just come off of one of the best bet-to-5 sets we've ever seen in Smite. Amazing. And, well, the underdogs take it away.
But that's the scene of EU. in general. And the best thing to say about Aquila, we're a challenger team. They were challengers, you know, all the way through. We're even involved in the Pro League. They're now going to Worlds. Unbelievable.
I mean, a team that a lot of people thought should have been playing in the Pro League, barely missed it. A team that a lot of people thought had a really good shot at this one. Solidly the dark horse. And a team that, well, there's one man that had a lot of faith in this team, and he is the owner of Cognitive Gaming.
A very, very smart pickup.
And it looks like that one's going to pay dividends as he's going to get that Cognitive brand all over the World Championship.
Is that going to be 3 teams, potentially?
If they get, that would be something. But over on North America, that Cog Prime team may have to go through complexity if they're able to take out their first round game, which is going to be tough. But
it is.
Back here in Europe, SK Gaming versus Mortality. It's Mortality's first set of the weekend. A lot on the line here.
There really is.
But Mortality's got a little bit of a new fold they're bringing to the table here. Maybe.
They've potentially been looking at running Sio mid.
They have been potentially looking. They've been running it exclusively in the scrims here.
That's true.
They seem to be a lot more comfortable with it. They feel like it's...
They've said Fexus is very passive.
Right. Fexus is more of a farmer, which suits the solo lane more, and where Sio is very aggressive.
As is Raffer. So it really works to put those two together, have them in mid lane. From what I've seen in these scrims, when they have done this, they've won all the scrims that they've had. They feel very confident based off that.
They do.
So maybe they'll look at doing the mid lane again. But at the same time, you never know.
How do you compensate for reels on LAN?
Compensate for reels on LAN, Moex.
Right.
Moex versus reels is going to be the matchup.
There's a lot of good hunters in the world. There's a lot of excellent players. In fact, most of the kind of super elite players that people think about are in that hunter role often.
That's very true. I mean, we've got Zapman over in North America as well. Snoopy
Zapman,
as well.
Barracuda, Snoopy. I mean, those are names that come to mind when you start talking about the top players in Smite. And then there's Moex, who is the player that nobody wants to play against.
Apart from reels. This is why I think reels is the
Reels like, no problem, no fight.
Whenever you talk to anybody, they're always like, I don't like playing against reels. Oh, sorry, against Moex. Moex is really strong. You talk to reels, like, that's good. I'm fine. And he does it with this deadpan face of actually.
Reels like, oh no, just fight him.
It's also like he really doesn't.
But reels has just the man. He is the most manly man to play the hunter role.
You saw the games yesterday.
Just stand and fight.
Diving in the Titan, 3 men.
Man fighting 3 people.
Exactly, and getting a kill before dying. And nearly took a double kill on his own 2v1 as well. It's like
a lot of times you see hunter players like backing up, shooting shots, and you're like, that's never going to be really effective, unless you're reels.
A Geb pick. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, let's talk about the picking and banning phase here a little bit, I guess, instead of reels, instead of fanboying reels here. Mercury Nuwa banned out by SK on Mortality side. It's Vamana Aphrodite, so really targeting that solo lane versus Maniac, who was the heart and soul of the team. And, well, Serket and Vulcan locked in. Ooh, perhaps this will be more effective than it was for TSM. Sylvanas locked for SK Gaming.
Sylvanas locked in for SK Gaming, but if they do that, then Mortality need to go aggressive.
And Raffer got Thor.
He gets Thor and Freya on that team. They prioritize Sylvanas over Freya and Thor.
Now, what's going to be interesting, I doubt it will happen, but in scrims, Sio was running Poseidon into Sylvanas's.
He was?
Because Sylvanas is very low mobility.
Just like Ymir.
Just like Ymir, but doesn't have that same like self-peel that Ymir does, and he just gets blown up by Poseidon. Plus, it fits Sio's playstyle very well. You can pressure the map really easily as Poseidon, at least feint it, and with all that MS, you're able to kind of make it back to the lane. So
I'm expecting Jean Kui for SK.
Well, with your final bans coming out here, Apollo is gone from Mortality. SK Gaming, one final ban, and it will be the Ra, who actually, that's crazy that it got through this deep, as you see it now, just getting banned out there. That's really, really late to see a Ra go not get picked up at all in the first stage, so you can see the mindset's very different.
If they expect Fexus to go mid or solo, whichever one, he's going to be playing very, very passive in this lane.
Right.
He's going to be playing passive. Ra is one of those gods that's great for farming and not getting involved in fights.
And there's another one of those, it's Chalk.
Chalk is
Chalk, another very safe solo laner. This is the god that, anytime someone transitions to the solo lane, this is the god they want.
But at the same time, yesterday we did see Game Hunter and TSM play that, and it didn't work out that great.
It was not amazing.
It was against the Vamana.
SK drafts the Bakasura into the Chalk. But that could, no, it's not going to trickle. And on her will be your hunter. No surprise there for reals. Loves this god.
That's interesting.
Even though Ram was open, but the final pick for Mortality, it's going to be Isis, and that means that it's going to be Sio in the mid lane.
It must be.
It has to be.
Is Chuck solo.
Sio is Isis.
He is going to be playing solo. So, before this game, I was talking to Sio, and Sio believes that SK may have found out that they were switching roles.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, we're going back to standard again.
Nice.
That's what he said to me. So the mind game. So I was
smoke.
like, I'll wait until everyone's locked in.
Yeah.
Before we talk about it, but it's like, so I was like, maybe I'm going mid. No, I'm going back solo again. No, I'm going mid. No, I'm going solo.
I don't think it was ever going to switch.
He's now at mid lane right now. Chuck, Fex says on Chuck, the guys from Mortality saying he's very, very strong and comfortable on this god.
Yeah.
However, he's going to be against Maniac, who's a very, very experienced solo laner.
That's right.
His god pool has grown.
And one of the hardest matchups that you can have in the solo lane is anything versus Bakasura. It's very hard to accurately estimate the amount of damage Bakasura is going to do to you. His 1 pens, which adds additional damage. He's got a lot of movement speed that he picks up, plus all of that regen that he'll get. It's really, really hard to understand how much damage and where the kill potential comes from Bakasura. So many times we see those level 5 kills coming out just straight away.
I mean, the biggest things that you can look to do against a Bakasura lane is have a Ra or a new War. A good examples of gods that can farm very, very safely.
Fall back,
not have to
toss
worry.
spells.
Chill out, relax, get the farm on, and not deal with Bakasura, get Bakasura big. Chuck, melee based, has to go in deep, is tanky, but true damage.
Right. The true damage, don't care about no tankiness.
No, not at all. Why would it care?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing in their favor is going to be that clear casting. Just farm the waves. Don't get too aggressive here. The head-to-head is 2-2 during the season between these teams.
That's right. They're so close during the season. The one interesting thing out of this is we just saw today Aquila, 5th seed, knocking out first. Can the 2nd seed get knocked out by
the 6th?
6th seed.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll see here as in traditional European fashion, in traditional Cologne fashion, the bottom seeds making it deep into the tournament. Let's go ahead and introduce your teams. The blue team fighting on the bottom side of the minimap, the left side of your spectator UI. It is SK Gaming. You have Badger matching up with Reels, the captain, in the duo lane as Sylvanas and on her. In the mid lane, it's Captain Twig on a signature Vulcan. Zeros in the jungle as Serket. And that leaves Maniac, definitely the driving force for this team in the first series they played, in the solo lane as Bakasura.
And across the map, we're going to see Mortality Esports. Fex says he's going to be the solo laner. We've not seen him there before in competitive play. Playing that Chuck, Rafa in the jungle once again, playing Thor. Sayo returning to mid lane after his stint in the solo, playing the Isis. Frazy's going to be in the support role playing Geb, and finally Moex playing Freya in the hunter role.
Freya for Moex. You know, Moex, I don't know that we've seen him shine so much on Freya as we have on some of the other gods. It's solid. I mean, all of these hunters play Freya at a very high level.
Yeah, everybody has to.
But you think on her when you think of Moex. Yeah, and I think that SK drafted that away from
With the jungle being so strong as it is, so you want Thor in the jungle, Serket's available in the jungle, Freya's available in the jungle, then Freya can rotate now into this sort of duo lane matchup. It's a good decision to make sure you have that on your roster, so it has to be done.
Not seeing any early game aggression here, just splitting the mid camps, left side taking a bit longer than the right side, but Invade now coming out onto the right side of the blue buff, where Mortality, they kind of want to contest it, they kind of don't, but with the Devour minions, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to blow up Maniac really quickly. There comes the Hand of the Gods. They got to get a kill off of this to make it worthwhile. Taking a lot of damage. Rafa may go down, porting forward. It looks like it will be enough to get himself out in time.
Look at the effects as a sprint as well. Rafa's going to have to return. They're going to play this very safe now. That invade was great coming out from SK Gaming. Managed to get it off, got the level 2, big denial to Fexes, and this is exactly what SK Gaming did to TSM again against the Chuck at the early game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe the most important thing here is they did that much damage to both of the players, meaning that they can't try to aggress the lane very heavily and go take the other blue buff.
That's right. I mean, they can't get the other blue buff back just yet. Rafa's going to heal up, though. He's used that potion. Fexes will be okay for now, but he's got to watch his mana. And obviously, he's still relatively new to the solo lane. You know, Mortality is saying he's strong, he's comfortable on this Chuck, but he's going to have an early deficit to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of gods notably left out of this draft. We saw Ra getting banned out very, very late. No Nemesis, none of these gods that have been really, really powerful. Serket, really the primary kind of S-tier god in this game besides the Thor.
So when we look at the map right now, we look at the position, you can see the pushed up from Sylvanas and Anher. That lane's going to push a lot heavier than a Freya Geb overall. So keep an eye and see if they go for an early rotation. They may look at the red buff, but with the junglers already returning to the jungle, it's unlikely unless they try and make something happen in mid. But Vulcan versus Isis. Isis is a great pick against Vulcan too.
Oh, it goes Reels. He's going to get the stun out on the Moex. He's going to force out the Geb shield there. Not going to get much more aggression out of that. But, yeah.
Like Freya, Hunter versus Hunter, Moex and Reels, not scared of each other. They're going to go at it all day long.
Yeah, just wait. I mean, this is going to be a stand and fight kind of game. You can just feel it. The pressure is on.
My dream, it goes 2-2.
Yeah.
And the best of 5 scenario is going to come down to Hunter versus Hunter.
Right, it calms down, right.
Everybody
Both Titans at 10%. They're fighting in the middle of the map.
The winner gets the spoils every solo. Perfect way to end it. And if you thought the last set was good, this one's just going to be just as difficult for either team. There's going to be a lot of nerves in the game. Positioning is going to be key. And you'll see a lot of them will not risk a big engagement, just scared of giving away that momentum.
So a big thing to look at here, it's going to be it's the first time we're going to see Vulcan today. Vulcan was banned out completely out of the last set. But the thing to look at here is Rafa. I think. Raffer is basically, I would say, it's pretty safe to say, the best Thor in Europe. Has had the most impact, has a 100% win rate on this god across 4 games played in the Pro League. But consistently, we see that he will fall off at about the 15-minute mark. He'll get ahead about level 10 and then let the other jungler catch up. He pressures the map so effectively in the early game, but doesn't seem to find the pressure through the late mid game. Look for that. If Raffer can stay ahead of the pack, moving into the 15-20-minute mark, it's going to be a big deal.
In the middle lane going out. You can see the Regurgitate with the Maniac rotation in. Can they find the Earthshaker? No, Sayo actually heals with the Circle of Protection, so that engagement just comes to null. It was right at this time when the mid camps are about to spawn, though, Bart. So see what happens based off that left-hand side, though. We've got an engagement going on as well.
Frezzy in a lot of trouble. He's going to fall to Reels. Reels striking first blood for SK Gaming, and Mox pushing forward here. But Badger, he's going to get the root off. Reels, does he have any mana? No. He fell back too much. Minions are there. Another root, and down goes Mox. A double kill in the duo lane for SK Gaming.
In the jungle right now, Raph is in trouble too. He was trying to take mid, comes the meatball, misses. Zeros dives the tower. Can Captain Twig find the backfire? No, he misses the backfire for now. So Raph survives, so only 2 kills to SK.
Really important that SK Gaming did get those kills in the duo lane. The Vulcan kill would have been important as well, but most importantly, they helped recover for Maniac there, who blew his first ultimate in the mid lane, not finding anything.
It really does. I mean, the way this is going on with the SK early game, Freya Geb should have issues against Sylvanas.
That's right, yeah, they should lose this late.
They should, but as the game develops and the game gets further on, technically Geb's stronger in terms of what he can provide with those shields later on, and at the same time, Freya becomes that hyper carry, a little bit stronger than Anher for the amount of burst potential she has.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to how well Sylvanas finds those ultimates in the, like, dead mid game. Right when Geb starts becoming, starts power curving ahead of Sylvanas, can Sylvanas continue to keep his team into the team fights? And you see the early blink kind of indicating that he's looking for that style of play. And overall here, another thing to look out for is combat blink timing on Sayo. Loves the item and is one of the only players that'll buy it on Isis.
Yeah, only him and Pretty Prime are the 2 that we've ever seen really pick up the combat blink on site on.
Fexes is going to get another Bakasur ultimate. Has a sprint active. Maniac doing a lot of damage. Fexes.
He's going to be okay. Oh, he's going to force the ultimate though in return. That minion's going to chase, but the slow might be enough. No, Maniac's going to go in for it. He takes the time. Jukes back to the Archer minions again. Early game, respect them.
Can he crash down in time? Maniac going to barely get out. Thor's going to line up. No, he misses. Not in time.
He's not going to jump.
Forces the stun. Yeah, he's dead.
He's not going to jump.
Yeah, he's going to die there, but he does get that solo lane kill.
But now that gives Zeros an opportunity to go middle lane, and Sayo's overextended here a little bit, going for Captain Twig. He's going to be a lot of damage there, forced back away from his own tower. Explosion is the key to the game there. Twig finding a kill. 4-1. Left-hand side engagement too.
Yeah, that ultimate doesn't heal up at all with that Circuit passive. Moax.
The
dad got him!
The Wisps were enough to bring him down.
SK Gaming showing once again why they are the scariest team to fight inland in Cologne. Gold Fury, 5.5 minutes. SK Gaming, and they reset off of the turret going down there. That's unfortunate, but they still have no problem picking this up.
Should be fine. Freddy can't really deal with this right now. He can't rotate in alone. He's not covering enough, doesn't have the blink available just yet, or even the Hog 3. So trying to steal that one away is going to be difficult, even though SK did that without the Hog 3.
Yeah, they did. I mean, but no contention at that point. And plus you have an Anher who's the best. It's a kind of a toss between him and Apollo, because Apollo can tank the Gold Fury, but Anher does the most damage.
Hey, Bart, check top kills, top gold right now on the side of SK.
Top kills, top gold on SK Gaming. You're looking at, Sylvanas. Carry Sylvanas.
And her just got the most gold.
Hey, give him a Telkines. Let's do this.
Give him the Telkines. Oh, don't do that. No, I'm sick of saying that the Solo Blades. Back to the solo once again, talking about that Maniac going aggressive onto Maniac. Fexes going aggressive onto Maniac, forcing him back this time. Fexes did a good job, but Maniac baited him in. He got the Regurgitate. He's going to force heal out of his butts, and this is going to be a close fight, but Maniac's going to take it again.
Not close enough. True damage better than damage.
Mid-camp's going to spawn now, and you can see Vizero's on your position. Frezzy was there, realized the potential of death, left it alone. Meanwhile, Badger on the other side, taking away those left camps. Experiencing gold is just escalating constantly.
50% damage reduction in that Chalk ultimate. Doesn't matter because you're doing true damage.
Doesn't matter at all.
That's tough. I mean, that's a tough matchup. And Fexes, maybe showing a little bit of his
that's the whole thing
experience.
About counter-picking the solo lane. When you know what the solo lane is going to be, counter-picking into it allows you the opportunity to deal with the effectiveness of what it's going to be like. Mobius could get caught out here.
Another ult,
the ult now. Reels is waiting around, but with Frezzy coming in here and Rafa on the backside, it's a good decision to disengage. Rafa might try and still make something happen, but there is a ward here. Banish.
They got the banish. They're going to get Thor in a position with that. He may have to use Mjolnir's Attunement, though, to close the distance here. The stun comes out. It's not going to hit. Oh, he's going to actually be forced to use the ultimate here. Won't have the stun when he lands. Reels does not have a leaf available to dodge it, but he beats it immediately. And in comes the Desert Fury. There's nothing to pick up Raptor. Trying to go back in. The ultimate spinning around there. Sylvanas still dotting them up.
Wisps.
Protection going out. Raptor doing a lot of damage with the passive as well.
But here comes Captain Twig going with the Earthshaker. Going to cover Mugs, but he lands the banish and he's going to run for his life. Frezzy trying to tank up his team. He's probably going to be a casualty of war here to zeros. Rafa escapes before anything else go on. 1 for 1. Hunter for Guardian.
Yeah, they'll settle for just Frezzy there.
Oh, will they?
Zeros, can he toss him back? No, the beads came out, which is not going to allow him to displace Sayo there, but could have been.
So Reels died there, but he actually used his Desert Fury the moment Thor landed. He didn't have beads.
Oh, he didn't, you're right,
He just used Desert Fury at the exact moment he was landing to block it, block the stun damage, be able to turn some damage. Still goes down, but a 1 for 1 at least.
Here's one thing that I do want to note here, is that a little bit different than what you'll see out of many solo laners. It's just the 2 wards placed by Chalk, but he's just getting counter-warded by Bakasura. Look at this. The sentry's there. You can go pick that up at any point.
Like we said yesterday as well, but sentry wards in this solo lane is something that we really only ever see at the land.
Right, yeah, it's pure land
just
play.
Something special that they bring out of lands all the time. Bakasura's going to clear that one away now because Maniac just once again keeping the vision so he can keep an eye on if Thor's going to rotate in and help out. And if he does, keep an eye out for the aggression on middle or left lane again, because that's exactly what SK did last time, exploit it when Rafa came to help.
Yeah, you know, I think looking at the games in which Sylvanas was played by Trickstank, you're seeing an entirely new dimension to this character out of Badger here. I mean, it just looks like he's playing a different game.
It looks a lot different. They're going to look to invade this. Rafa's here with the wall. The double tap does connect. Going to spin in as well. Force Reels away. Rafa's going to go up to the sky though. Going to continue to try and chase, but Zeros is waiting at the Gold Fury here. Isis knows this. Sayo's in position. Freddy's going to go in with a blink into the combo. He's in trouble, but the Desert Fury comes out. There's a great knockup from Badger, and the Impale was great onto Rafa, forcing the beads away. Now Moex turns up as well as Zero's going to have to retreat, but Badger on that front line still being tanky. You can see Moex take to the sky, return some damage. Nobody dies just yet.
Right side lane, there's going to be another dive coming out from Maniac. A lot of damage going on. Affects us. The slow is there, but it doesn't matter. 2 more shots, and the cones are good. Down he goes. Left side, let's check back in, though, as Sayo wants to fight. He's in the ultimate. He's going to pop it. Zero's taking quite a bit of damage, as is Badger, but it's going to be tough for Mortality to go back in. Nearly dead as Raffer, but it looks like he's barely going to make it out of this one alive.
Well, they're going to continue to put the pressure on a little bit more. There's nothing for them to take right now. Mid-camp's due up soon. Captain Twig doesn't look like he's finished. He was considering going around the back there. Maniac, now that he's got that kill, going to take right camps already. You see Twig returning for the mid
Bakasura stands to gain a lot off of this. Going to take the right side mid-camp, and he will see when this orange buff respawns due to the ward that he's placed in the back lines there. He's going to see it right now. He's going to be able to leap over the wall and take this if he wants it. No, he's going to go farm the way. Yeah, now he sees it. Maniac looks at his mini-map.
It's risky.
He's going to go in. No, it should be fine. Sayo's making his way over there, but Sayo wants the back camps. Look at this. He's using Wingust there. He doesn't realize Maniac is taking this orange buff.
He's still not seen him. He just walked past him. Didn't even notice it. Oh, wait, did Maniac take it?
No, he ate it. Yeah, he left it. He ate the big one. He
left the minions. How rude.
I know.
How rude. You take my jungle, you don't even at least clear the camp for me?
Yeah, I just want to follow Rafa around and just, like, see what happens when he goes there.
I hate my life.
Just going to back. Like, what do you do? We see that Vulcan? There's a bunch of gods around him, but he's going to beads out of the stun and should be A-okay.
Well, Gold Fury's back up very, very soon. 20 seconds until that comes on. You can already see that Mortality trying to get themselves in position, give themselves an opportunity to get back in this one now. Because at the moment, this is all SK gaming it, but it's all fighting bot too. The fighting action has been non-stop. We've not had a chance to discuss builds, why the situation's come as it is, the picks and bans to an extent. It's just fight, fight, fight.
Well, really, it's been SK just dominating Mortality's early game.
Well,
hasn't really been fights, and now they're going for another Gold Fury. Look at the positioning of Mortality.
They're not even ready for this Mortality. They're actually doing the back hobbies as a 4-man unit here.
No, 4-man farming your jungle.
Support. They're going to have to give the Gold Fury. It's already going to be down before they
there's the message, and there's Mortality being sad, boys.
Frezzy's blinked over there as well. Finds out a little bit too late that it's gone.
This is like a normal online Smite game that we normally see. At this point in other LAN games so far, we haven't seen these kind of leads in the first 10 minutes. 7,000 experience, 6,000 gold in favor of SK Gaming. We just haven't seen games like this so far. This is the first real, truly one-sided game we've seen today.
It does feel very one-sided at the moment. I don't think the picks have worked out very well for Mortality. I mean,
they didn't.
Maniac's Bakasura.
Geb.
Maniac's Bakasura, it's not something you usually see.
True. Yeah.
Which is a really odd pick for them. I think that threw them for a loop at the start as well.
I think that's the primary difference between SK Gaming we saw during the season and SK Gaming we're seeing here. That extra time boot camping, I think they focus a lot on increasing the god pool for Maniac.
Yeah, for sure. Not just Maniac, but Badger as well. Yeah. Sylvanas is out, Ymir is out. We never saw Ymir in Pro League either. Badger said he's been practicing it a lot. Reels was the one
He's exclusively a Bacchus, Ares kind of player.
Like, end of the season, he was Ares, wasn't he? He was playing Geb before that and a bit of Bacchus. That's all we saw him on. And now, Sylvanas, Ymir being picked up for the games we've seen him in so far. Not a bad display from the boys from SK. These boot camps are really paying off.
2 Gold Furies in the first 10 minutes for SK Gaming. yielding quite an advantage. And, well, Reels is scooting along there at level 12, 2 levels ahead of Moex, and a whole mess of farm as those Gold Furies are starting to add up.
I mean, it's 12 minutes in. Like you said, the golden experience lead is pretty substantial for this level of game it is. If Mortality can hold, though, and not lose many of these towers, just keep defending them, they still have the late game, like we discussed. You know, they're going to have Freya there, Thor, Sayo on the Isis as well, and then Chuck as a frontline. I mean, they're not out of this by a large stretch of the imagination, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
I mean, you're talking 40 minutes, though, before they really eclipse SK Gaming.
Yeah, I agreed.
And Twig is going to scale as aggressively in the late game as anybody. Reels will scale into about 35-minute territory until Freya gets probably 7 slotted, selling off her starting items and moving into, you know, all-in damage. But, you know, we've seen Serket bring a lot of damage late game onto single targets as well.
Look at this ambush territory for Zero's just waiting there for this engagement. Who's he going to look for? Doesn't actually find a target. Badger takes a lot of poke for free as they were trying to pick out a target, and that great stun coming out from Frezzy with that Cataclysm. Sayo's going to actually find a kill, turn around, try and put the damage back onto Zero's. This is a great fight for Mortality right now. Earthshaker connects only him.
They weren't expecting that.
Moex gets impaled by Reels, and Twig picks him up with a backfire, and the spin to win from Raphael forces the triple. Here's Maniac.
Look at the turret there from Twig, finding that kill as well. Maniac rotates all the way across the map. That's 3 members down from Mortality, 2 members down for SK Gaming, a bloodbath on the left side of the map. And Sayo, well, he's got his work cut out for him here. Left on dead.
That was a lot of work to cut out, in all honesty. Gold Fury's still down, though, so it's going to give Fexes a little bit more time. They should be able to get this tower before anyone rotates. He should get tower, but then they might get left tower and respawn
they'll get a return tower.
Anyway. I mean, there's 2 people in that lane still.
For sure.
It would be a trade 1-for-1 in terms of towers. SK Gaming is still in the lead in this one. You can see 9.2k experience right now, 6,500.
So there was an important part of that fight where there was a Sylvanas sitting at about 15 HP inside of the Isis ultimate. Sayo saved it, trying to get a bit more damage. Could have killed him off. So then what happened is that the Thor had to crash in on the Sylvanas in the backside of the fight, which meant he couldn't get to Anhur before Anhur took out 2 more players. So it ended up, you know, subtle kind of, it's hard to call it a misplay, more of a miscue. You know, the communication was there, right? They got the target killed still, but it would have been better off to use that Isis ultimate over the Thor ultimate to kill off the support. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, the big thing in that one as well was SK messed up on that engagement. Like, they left Badger in very, very long, a little bit too long. Mortality were looking to go on someone other than Sylvanas. By the time they realized the engagement had failed from SK, they were already in a position where they're like, oh, we should kill off Sylvanas. If we were able to do it straight away, this fight could have been different. But Sylvanas died very, very late in that fight. The result, Maniac come all the way over as well, continue the aggression, pick up the win for them.
Speaking of Maniac, well, no, hold that thought. Look at Zero's backside. Orange buff is his.
Stealing speed
and
again.
Raffer, once again, is a sad boy. And right side, though, Bakasura.
Oh, he's going to meet Zeros in the jungle. Actually, Raffer's going to trade out and get in a lot of trouble here. Full combo. Good night, Sweet Prince.
Yeah, the burst damage from Vulcan on top of that ultimate from Zeros is really nasty.
Oh, now Fexes could be in trouble. Great juke back to his axe, though, to make sure he gets out of the trouble. Regurgitate now on cooldown, but he's still going to lose the blue. Look at the whole team's here. 5 man in to get Fexes now.
Oh, they're going to die, Fexes. Fexes. You're going to be an unhappy sir. No. Okay, the ultimate doing pretty well. 50% damage reduction is going to do it for him there. But I want to talk quickly about Ichvile on Bakasura again. What appears to be a more standard build now for him. This heavy hammer into boots, into Ichvile, into chin size build. It's a tremendous amount of attack speed, and you're just a nightmare versus physical DPS.
It's also because of the fact that Ichvile's very, very cheap. So is heavy hammer.
That's right.
And chins is very expensive.
It's a very good quality. Yeah. It's an excellent build for bridging that gap into chins. You're exactly right.
So getting to that gap is very, very important because you want to get a finite amount of gold in an average game. And if you have to invest it all into chins and Deathbringer and, you know, all the other items you can expect to see from the expensive range, you have to give something up. So giving up a little bit, but getting some cheap, viable items and then building into the chins means you get that on the line a little bit sooner, and you're always guaranteed at every game too.
Yeah, and it also makes him even more difficult to deal with for the chalk. And no, it's an executioner coming out, so favoring the attack speed and pen more is the Baka here.
That's interesting. I mean, you're probably going to see double execution on the Shosorobik. You're going to see that on Reels as well.
But perhaps maybe Reels goes for the chins.
We'll find out as this one goes on, because they started the Gold Fury again. Mortality should have someone.
Look at Frezzy. Frezzy's going to lane.
They're not doing it again. They just. There's not much to say about this one now. It's like, it seems like Mortality is just like, we can't fight.
Yeah.
I agree. They should try and make a play on that.
They need a dodge, but they need to get something.
If they make a play on that, and it goes wrong, Frezzy dies, they get Fire Giant instead.
That's right. Yeah,
and it's a worst case scenario. So at least with the Fire Giant still standing, the game's not technically over. SK Gaming, I feel, are doing the right thing, though, by grouping up. They all won their lanes substantially to an extent. I think Sayo in mid went even, but because of the rotations coming in from Zeros, that made that lane win as well in favor of SK.
I mean, it's really, I mean, that early play where Maniac rotated over, the ultimate didn't find the kill, but they managed to find kills in the duo lane is really important, because if he would have lost that and started to get behind in the solo lane and let Fexes just do his thing, you know, it didn't put the screws to him, it would have been really big.
I mean, he was allowed, Maniac was allowed to be able to come up with that anyway, just because of the early game invasion on that blue buff, put Maniac behind anyway. And then on top of that, when Rafa came over to help him out, that meant that Zero's got in trouble too. Sorry, Zero's managed to pick up a kill in mid onto Sayo. So it's been a tough road for Mortality in this game so far. SK Gaming are just on point on making sure their rotations are crisp and concise, and their lane fights 1v1 are doing very well too.
E-Staff completed for the Vulcan, sitting at level 19, 17.5 minutes into the game. That is some crazy farm rate. I
mean, Warlock Slash is a great item that you normally see picked up, but getting the E-Staff right now gives you that potential straight away. He's already level 19 though.
Yeah, when you got 800 XP per minute, and you're sitting on...
wait for a big play. He went Blink Hook, did not find the grasp, unfortunately. But Frezzy managed to get away from that one, did survive, but I believe it cost him...
They're just going in.
They have to fight.
No, they're baiting.
Well,
they're baiting.
He forced Frezzy's blink on that engagement as well. Zero's actually ambushed as well. The bait is going on, but is anyone going to take it?
No, they're not taking the bait. They're not taking the bait.
It's a good wall from Moex. Moex just came in, put us a ward down. He's going to get instantly deleted by the sentry.
I think they should fall back. Let Frezzy try to come in and counter ward and look at Zero's
needs to be careful. They're all going to go on Rafa. Great ultimate from him. Immediately, the shield bought a little bit of time for him to get to the sky too. He's not going to dunk back into this fight, but that was well played overall. He knew he was going to get engaged and was like, nope, I'm out. Oh, and immediately Frezzy shielded too.
Little surprised to not see Zero throw the ultimate out there.
That's a cooldown.
But yeah, they have no Thor now. They have no that instant initiation AoE's done, and Frezzy and Fex is back off. Fire Giant, SK Gaming.
The 3-man back camps on the left, the 3-man back camps on the right now.
Yeah,
they're trying to get gold and experience where they can. They're really struggling right now.
Oh, this is tough.
It's a tough game, but Zero's going to come mid, catch Sayo, force the beat immediately after the Cobra's Kiss connects. Twig going to tank up the tower with that turret, with a Fire Giant online now. They'll be able to siege easily, especially with someone like Sylvanas. They're going to have the Wisp for the extra sustain, and he can tank up like a beast.
Yeah, the extra physical protection also big. Raffer has elected on Thor without his ultimate to continue split pushing on the left side, but Thor, not a very fast pusher, and now going to go back as he shoves the wave in.
Good banish, good knock up from Frezzy, but can they find anything else? Frezzy's in the mix, he's looking for a good cataclysm. There it is into the Regurgitate as well, though. And Fex is going to come with the silence. Can they get some kills? They've not got much damage here, but that's the issue.
Yeah, and Zeros finds his way to the backline, ults out Sayo as he gets hit by the Earthshaker from the Vulcan, and that's going to be enough to take out the Isis, and down goes Frezzy. In the meantime, reigning in the in-hands continues Reels after impaling out the tank. That's 3 members down on the side of Mortality. SK Gaming finds a Phoenix pre-20 minutes.
Straight over to left-hand side, no hesitation, not going to continue wasting time. Use this Fire Giant. They've got the Wisps as well from Sylvanas. They'll heal them up over the dot damage. They can continue pushing and keep this assault going.
Yeah, and they're going to mush into the left side here. If they take this Phoenix as well, it means the next Fire Giant's likely to be free. Badger rotating in. There's the root out. He doesn't get the stun as the beats come out from Moex, so that means that it's time for Zeros to go in, and the damage starting to come through. The poison's going to pop. Fex is in trouble as well. He can't heal. You're dead as well. Another kill coming out as Fex's falls again for the 4th time this game. He's down. 4 deaths on Freya, 4 deaths on Geb, 4 deaths on Chalk. It's not looking good for Mortality.
He's not the only person in this game right now. He's Rafa 4, 3-0. He's had a hard time, but if you even check it out, he's only 2 levels behind the Circuit right now. That's pretty impressive considering the lane is the solo lane, mid lane, are substantially further behind over that situation. He's done a good job of trying to stay in this one, even with his jungle denied. But the way the game's gone right now, SK's taking this one. Unless it happens again, but...
It's going to take a miracle.
Well, we saw a miracle.
We saw a miracle happen yesterday, but... I mean, I haven't even hit the F3 button, and I'm a little scared because it's 18,000 experience, 15,500 gold at 20 minutes.
Is it possible to lose a game from this position when you're that far ahead in terms of a golden experience? I don't think I've heard of it before.
I mean,
maybe when i5 were around because they were.
There's
really good
not
at
a crit item on Mortality, and there's a Deathbringer on Circuit, and a 4th item short sword on her.
Well, you've got Rage for Maniac as well online. He's got crit as well. You've got 3 members with crit there.
Right, and Mortality hasn't even started to itemize. And nor can they really. They don't have a great crit option.
I mean, it looked like, we've seen this Chuck trying to build into chins here.
5th item Chalk, probably.
He's 1,500 gold still a way of getting these chins online. He's not got much else to him. Rafa's going to have to take to the sky, getting surrounded once again. Forces the ult back to safety of the tower. They're just going to siege up right-hand side here. Maniac's just waiting in the wings for an opportunity if the fight does break out. But... picks and bans wise, I mean, when you see Freya, Thor, and Geb on the same team, you're feeling pretty confident.
It's the Badger. The Badger just dominated the early game.
It's not often you get to say that about Badger. In all honesty, and that's not offensive to me, it's just not something you hear very often. But here's the heroes going in. Cobra's Kiss attempts to combat blink used by Sayo, is about to get out of that one. Now Badger goes in with the ultimate, gonna knock up Frezzy. Frezzy puts the shield on himself, knocks himself up, but he's gonna get eaten apart by that regurgitate. Twig picks up that kill. Vexes has to run for his life, as you can see. Sayo and Rafa trying to make something happen. But the Earthshaker was huge from Twig, and now he's still chasing on to Rafa.
I don't know if they can keep them out of the base here. They're going to break it easily. And the danger here is they have a full HP bar on Reels. ZX. Zero is going to fall back, and he's going to have no problem chasing down Fexes with Cirquet.
Just got to
She's just too
time.
Just too good. She's just too mobile, and down he does go. And now they pile in on the Titan. This is going to be a 23-minute game in favor of SK Gaming. Showing their stuff. Mortality a little rusty coming out of the gate there.
I'm going to give some of that down to ring rust.
Yeah,
because of the fact they've not had the opportunity to play a game yet on the stage.
But there he is. The man, the legend, the captain, Reels. They looked confident. They looked
Reels was so confident going into this one as well. Like he was really confident all the way through, talking to him behind the scenes as well. These boys not happy, clearly. Yeah. But at the same time, this happened again with Aquila.
That's right. Yeah,
Aquila came in, they weren't fresh, they came back into it. Same with Fnatic as well. Fnatic came into their first game against Aquila
today. First game, yeah.
And when they lost that first game, they came back strong, went 2-1. You know, they won the next two. So Mortality just need to do the same thing. They need to come back one more time, do exactly the same thing, realize the mistakes, adjust and correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can answer back in a big way. Here in the second game, we've seen it kind of happen throughout. And just shake the rust off. You haven't played much on the stage, you know. They've only played a couple games on stage. Yeah, the sounds, players, everything. Everything, and the nerves as well. That's what a game.
It's been crazy. I mean, we've got a replay coming up now, and I think it's one that's going to go through every single lane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that's kind of indicative of how the game was, right? They won every lane. So let's take a look at all of the lanes getting dominated by SK Gaming.
Every time.
Jeez.
So, on your screen right now, going to start off with the Maniac fight against Fexes. These two dueling out like monsters here. Regurgitate forced, and you can see Fexes trying to run for his life here, taking a lot of damage. Does jump back to his axe at the end. No, he doesn't. He actually ults out. Maniac goes back in to clean this one up, if I remember correct. Look how he waited for the minion aggro before he went back in. Made sure he had that before he went back into tower range. Then, him to Rafa.
Yeah, Rafa tries to make the play here. He's not in line, so Maniac will die to the tower, ultimately falling back in. It still goes to credit to Rafa.
And then mid lane,
look at the mid lane here, where they realize
he's going to jump over.
Sayo likes to play super aggressively. That's the main difference in him and Fexes. And here, he gets caught out for it, tries to heal himself up, but that's not how healing reduction works. And then finally, the ultimate into the Desert's Fury. And this is the kill where the dot ends up killing off Moex, right?
Yeah,
leaping in, cutting back, and tick. Badger.
He goes on. That in turn turned into the first goal fury of the game as well, which just snowballed the game from there for them. They just kept the pressure on from that moment on.
Just complete domination by SK Gaming in game one. How will the boys of Mortality answer that? Can they rally themselves and come back? They don't want to be down 2-0. It's a very difficult position to be in. Oh my.
It's not as bad as that looked. That's what I want to say. I don't think it's as bad as that looked. That game went very one-sided very, very early on.
It did, yeah.
And it was all down to that one fight, that whole extended fight across all the lanes that caused it.
Yeah, what we just saw there, that really just set the game. The tone was almost possible to come back from that.
Exactly.
Get a kill on all 3 lanes, plus a gold fury right away. Very hard to come back from, but we'll see if they can do it, guys. Game 2 coming up shortly. Just one quick commercial break, and we'll be back here live from Cologne, Germany for Hindu Man. I'm Bart. We'll see you soon.